Welcome back to the second part of electric dipole. As you know, electric dipole has a wide variety of applications, not only in physics but in chemistry also. Especially the mechanism of electric charge distribution and the electric field energy stored in electric capacitors are explained based on the concept of electric dipole. So without wasting time, we will go directly into the derivation of electric field due to electric dipole. Remember, this is electric field due to electric dipole, which is perpendicular to the axis of the electric dipole. I think I do not want to explain the electric dipole again because you have already studied this in the previous video. If you do not know what is electric dipole, please see the previous video. As you know, electric dipole is an arrangement of one positive and one negative charge separated by a very small distance. Before going to the derivation of electric dipole, as usual, we need to draw its diagram. So electric dipole consists of one positive and a negative charge separated by a small distance. O is the midpoint of these positive and negative charge. For convenience of derivation, 2a we can take the distance. A is the half the distance. And as I have told you, the electric field due to dipole we want to find at the perpendicular bisector of the dipole axis. So r is a distance from the center of a dipole to a point P. P is a reference point where we want to find the total electric field due to positive and negative charge. So this is a direction of electric field due to positive charge. See, this is away from positive charge, but direction of electric field due to negative charge is towards the negative charge. Why? Because electric field diverges from positive charge and converges towards the negative charge. So arrow mark will represent its vectorial representation. Now the total electric field E will be the sum of E plus and E minus. But here we have a problem. E plus and VE minus we cannot add together. Now just see, A square plus R square is the hypotenuse of that particular triangle using Pythagoras theorem. If A is the half the distance of the dipole, so A square plus R square root of will gives the hypotenuse. Now I am going to divide E plus into two components. One is along y axis, another one is along x axis. So E plus has two components. One will be cosine component and another will be sine component. Similarly, E minus also has cosine component and sine component. Now E plus cos theta will be the cosine component of E plus. Similarly, E plus sine theta will be the sine component of E plus. So we have E plus cos theta and E plus sine theta. Similarly, for E minus also we have E minus cos theta and E minus sine theta components. So I can write it as a E minus cos theta and similarly E minus sine theta. Now just to see the diagram, E minus sine theta is just opposite to E plus sine theta. Both are having same magnitude but its direction is opposite. So E plus sine theta and E minus sine theta cancels, but E plus cos theta and E minus cos theta cannot be cancelled. So total electric field will be the sum of these two cosine terms of both e plus and e minus. You should remember why both sine component cancel each other, because both are having same magnitude but different direction. So E total is equal to E plus cos theta plus E minus cos theta. So we can write it bracket, that is E plus plus E minus cos theta, E plus plus E minus cos theta. Now from the geometry cos theta we can find cos theta is basically adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. So now see the triangle in the figure. So cos theta, I can write it as a cos theta is equal to, from that triangle which constitute positive charge, the point P and O, I can take cos theta is equal to adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. Adjacent side is A and hypotenuse is root of A square plus R square. So I can write it A divided by A square plus R square whole raised to 1 by 2. So we will put the value of cos theta in the above equation. So which is equal to E plus E minus into A divided by A square plus R square whole raised to 1 by 2. Let it be equation 1. No problem. Now E plus and E minus are two electric fields due to positive charge and negative charge. So we have to write separately what is E plus and E minus. So fortunately E plus and E minus will have the same magnitude. Very simple. E plus is the electric field due to positive charge. You have already know, which is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, that is Coulomb constant. You can write K also into Q divided by R square. R is the distance. Remember here distance is A square plus R square root of the whole square will be coming, which is the hypotenuse of that triangle. So Coulomb constant into A divided by A square plus R square. Root and square normally cancels each other. Let it be equation number 2. So what will be equation number 3? Same electric field due to E minus. Electric field due to minus charge. That is E minus is equal to. Now in the figure E minus is basically electric field due to negative charge, which is towards the negative charge, and which can be seen like this. So E plus and E minus will constitute total electric field. So total electric field will be sum of equation 2 and equation 3. I can write it as. Remember our solution become very easy by cancelling sign components. So total electric field component will be only cosine contribution. So E total is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Sum of these two equations 2 and 3 and just multiply with that cosine terms. So Q divided by A square plus R square plus same term 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by A square plus R square. Now for easiness we will put in bracket into that cosine term. I hope you remember that cosine term. Cos theta is equal to A divided by A square plus R square whole raised to 1 by 2. Raised to 1 by 2. This is the total electric field. Now everything is very simple. Just arrange the above equation, we will get the final answer. So electric field total. Now you can see within bracket both the terms are same. Either you can write directly as a 2 times of a single term, or separately also you can write, because you have another a divided by r square plus a square term. So 2 times q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 I am writing together into 1 by a square plus r square. So these two terms will be the 2 times of an individual term, very simple, into a divided by r square plus a square whole raised to 1 by 2. Just multiply it, the term which is outside the bracket into the term which is inside the bracket. Now we have already studied the concept of electric dipole moment. Electric dipole moment is nothing, it is a vector quantity. So I am writing it later. Now 2aq divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into a divided by r square plus a square the whole raised to 1 by 2. A already taken, so I do not want to write it, into 3 by all raised to 3 by 2. So all raised to 3 by 2 comes because the power of a square plus r square is 1 and 1 by 2. So 1 plus 1 by 2 is equal to 3 by 2, like a raised to m into a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. So 1 plus 1 by 2 is 3 by 2. Now we can rearrange the above equation once again. So here we have 2aq divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 and one complex term also. So 2aq is a P, which is a electric dipole moment. You have already studied, which is a vector quantity. Its direction is just opposite to the direction of electric field. So Coulomb constant 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. I am putting one minus sign also. It is because electric field is just opposite to the electric dipole moment. That it is clear to you. If you are writing in magnitude wise, you need not to write minus. So P divided by a square plus r square raised to 3 by 2, I can write it as a r cube. Why it is r cube? Because same approximation that we have taken in the previous derivation. A square plus r square all raised to 3 by 2 we can write approximately as r cube, because A is a dipole distance. I already told you A is extremely small distance compared with R, a reference point. So you can neglect A. So r square all raised to 3 by 2 is r cube. No need to write A. So which is equal to E total minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 P divided by r cube. So in vector form, that minus is necessary. If you are taking only the magnitude, it is not necessary. Now this will be the total electric field due to electric dipole perpendicular to the dipole axis. Normally this question comes for a 5-mark question, part of 5-mark question, or directly 3-mark question it comes in the board examination. Now I am going to compare both electric fields due to electric dipoles, perpendicular component and axial component. So E axial is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 to P by r cube, we have already derived, and E perpendicular is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 P by r cube. See, axial component is 2 times the perpendicular component, means electric field is more strength along its axis, not along its perpendicular bisector of the electric dipole.